What you're seeing right now is one-of-a-kind vehicle made in a country that ceased to exist over 30 years ago. What makes it even more bizarre is that it's largely based on an already extremely rare variant of another infamous car that I own. Both of them are called YUGO, and they are considered to be the worst cars ever made. On top of that, this particular YUGO might be linked to another infamous vehicle model from Nissan, all of which were recalled to be fully destroyed in the 90s. This project's been a lot of work, considering this car was lost in a desert for around 30 years. And now it's finally time for the biggest challenge yet. I have to not just fix this one-of-a-kind vehicle, but also complete the mandatory inspection at the DMV, which means they will have to verify this one-of-a-kind vehicle that has never been seen before outside of my video, and this YUGO in question has to make it that far without breaking down. So I don't even know which part of this challenge is going to be more difficult, as it took me over half a year to get this YUGO running in the first place, but unfortunately at the time it didn't make it very far. So now I'm going to attempt to fix this car over a weekend, as I'm pretty confident I know what the issues are. To be clear, the time leading up to this challenge I wasn't sitting around and doing nothing. I was busy sourcing impossible to find parts, completely reorganized the garage, and have conducted a lot of research on this car, as well as worked on other videos and projects in the meantime.
YUGO Lover 3000.
I do these YUGO projects with a passion and at a complete out-of-pocket loss, so big thank you to everyone who's been supporting the series, both monetarily and in many other ways. You guys made this possible.
I wonder if there's gonna be any other YUGO names. Ah, there it is.
So, the most impactful issues we're dealing with while driving that prevented us from getting to the DMV is that the car lacks power, has a substantial oil leak, and everything overheats pretty quick. Considering the car was lost in a desert for over 25 years, I predict that all the cooling related parts are completely destroyed on the inside.
It is disintegrating just like that. I can only imagine what it's like on the inside.
My other prediction is that the majority of gaskets are completely blown, because many of them were infamously made out of cardboard and cork instead of metal.
Does it even have a head gasket in the first place? Oh no!
And of course, I suspect a lot of other issues, especially involving vacuum, electrical and brakes, but in either case, we have no choice but to open up the engine.
The fans are on. Keep forgetting the fans are still working on that thing, especially after the impact. Look at that bottle scar on Jerry.
The first step was to move the car and remove the hood, in order to have easier access to all the parts.
They painted over the bolts and they oversprayed it so much that the 13 does not fit anymore. Okay, it's gonna be like this.
I might as well remove the battery just in case, especially after the incident.
Oh, fire!
Oh, they really didn't want anybody to ever remove that hood ever again.
Oh, that works.
Oh, it's so much easier to see everything now. What's the worst I could... Oh my god, what happened to my pants? How did this happen? I gotta drain the car. This car does not have a radiator drain plug.
Great! I can unplug this hose that's supposed to have coolant in it, and that's like the only way to drain this radiator, I suppose, because they just didn't think anybody would ever flush this radiator, ever. As you can imagine, it's gonna go everywhere. The solution is to use one of these guys. You can kind of bend it up and drop it, but you could essentially put it like a splash guard.
Let's try to salvage as much coolant as possible, which is gonna be a challenge of its own. Ooh, that is bad. That is bad. Oh god.
Yeah, I don't think that's coolant. And it smells really, really bad right now. Like, really bad. Ain't salvaging that, that's for sure.
Just want to point out that it's not just all brown. You see how it has a lot of sparkly stuff in there? And I want to acknowledge that this was the new coolant that I put in the car. So it basically flushed all this, and look how little there is left over. Like, this is all that came out of it. And I filled it to the brim when I was rebuilding this prototype. Oh boy.
The radiator is toast.
So nothing came out of this thing. So there is absolutely no coolant there. All there's left is to remove the coolant overflow tank, which goes here, 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 and voila.
Yeah, that's the coolant overflow tank.
Yep. Here's a cool advice. If you're completely new to mechanical, I highly recommend you to get a bunch of pieces of cardboard for like arts and crafts and stuff. And then you can just do this. You just pierce it through, and it keeps all the washers, all the nuts on this thing. And you can label it with ease. That and all other tools I use are in the description. Okay, the fan is out. I just gotta take out that thermostat over there, and I should be able to take this radiator out, which does not even look like a radiator. It looks like just a single panel. Oh boy, that is rough looking. I'll just take it out. So there it is. Here's the radiator. Looks like a solid block rather than a proper radiator. That's just how old and bad it is. And it's pretty heavy.
Not made out of the nicest materials, I suppose. With the radiator out, there's way less stuff to worry about. Except it's just really dirty and there's like a tiny plant.
Unlike the coolant, the oil actually looked pretty fine, and upon draining most of it, I was able to begin disassembling the engine.
I removed a bunch of stuff. I can finally see this little module over there. Says made in Spain by Renault, a French company, or Valeo. Actually not sure what it is. It goes to the coolant lines.
This appears to be just a very primitive version of a gearbox cooler. Unfortunately, this exact part is now unobtainable, and the only part that comes even remotely close cannot be shipped to the United States due to new policies that I have zero control over. So I have to work with what I have.
I just disconnected one of the coolant lines from the AC, and look at that. It's completely rusted out. I can only imagine what it's like on the inside. No surprise it was overheating.
Yeah, this YUGO actually has an AC, or rather the heater core, so you get a choice between hot and very hot air.
Gotta disconnect this thing that is using household screws for whatever reason.
While removing the AC components, I made a very interesting discovery. Turns out if you drive a Jeep Wrangler, there's a fair chance the heater core in your car is the same one as the one in the YUGO. In order for us to find out the state of the engine, we essentially have to remove 3 parts from top to bottom until we get to this section. This would also allow us to see the state of the parts as we disassemble them one by one. With all the extra hoses out of the way, I was able to remove the intake manifold.
So, now the intake manifold is out, which is a very interesting design to say the least. Time to dig in a bit deeper. Okay, what am I looking at here? Oh boy. So, in order for me to disassemble this engine, I have to remove these bolts, and I have to remove the bolts on this side. If you look closely, we got a bit of an issue over here. Yeah, I think that'll be possible.
Fortunately, it was just some dirt, so it was pretty easy to remove. While waiting for the bolt lubricant to get as deep as possible, I managed to remove the exhaust manifold.
These are looking rough. Look at that.
Oh, this pipe is so bent. I just realized that's a pipe. Doesn't look that bad. They're just, oh, surprisingly better than I thought it would be. Now, let's remove this part.
Oh, nice. Well, here comes the grand reveal. Let's take a look at everything that is down there. I don't know what to expect, so. Okay. Does it even have a head gasket in the first place? Oh no, this is the head gasket. That is all that is left over. Oh no. Wait. This is the head gasket? So these are all coolant and oil lines. They're completely clogged up. They're full of debris. Rusted out, probably from, you know, all the stuff from the pipe. This is allegedly the head gasket. Oh my god. Oh, this is dirt. This is not part of the metal. This is dirt. Hold on. I thought this was part of the engine, but this is all just dirt. It's just coming off. Let's try to scoop it up somehow. Well, removing this in one piece is gonna be impossible. Oh my god. So, this is allegedly the head gasket, or whatever is left from it. No surprise it's been leaking so much.
I spent the next couple of hours trying to clean up as much as possible, and eventually decided to just call it for the day. Yesterday I had some issues with accessing some of the tight spots within the engine, so I just 3D printed this adapter to get in the crevices, and I'm about to test it out. Hopefully it's not gonna fall apart.
It should hypothetically go as deep as needed into those crevices. I think that might help a lot.
It broke before I could even try it out. Unless I have a new straw now, like one of those like blow dart things. Everything that touches this car just falls apart. I don't know how does this keep happening, but this is more of my fault for making it so thin. Since I had a bunch of stuff out of the way, I decided to replace some of the less important parts that are typically a bit hard to access.
Oh, that was close. Almost lost a finger there. Wow, look at that. Oh, there's one more bolt in the most inaccessible spot imaginable. Great. Look where that bolt is. That one? Yeah. I have to somehow access it. Okay. Oh. Oh no! Look at that. Oh my god. I don't think the water pump is I don't think the water pump exists anymore. The water pump became the actual stuff. The water pump disintegrated. So for your reference, this is what a new one or unused supposed to look like. And Yeah.
That's a lot to process.
And even more to clean.
As I predicted, the cooling components of the car were virtually unsalvageable and took forever to clean out.
Just the amount of chunks that came out of this thing is ridiculous. And this is just a portion I threw away like a bunch.
Still need to wipe it a little bit and let it dry out, but it's already looking way better than before. It's gonna be much easier to keep track of all the leaks and all the minor and major issues in the future.
Perhaps the biggest surprise was the fact that both the cylinders and the cylinder walls were fine. They did have a bit of residue, but no actual damage, meaning that I don't have to rebuild the bottom part of the engine. Since replacing the gearbox cooler was not an option, I decided to just clean it out.
What I'm gonna do is, I'm actually just gonna blow air through this thing and see if anything is gonna come out. So I'm really curious if it's something like really clogged up, right? Got it? And I just cleaned a good portion of this stuff. Gosh darn it, should have been expected. I didn't expect it to be wet. Oh god, it smells so bad. Like it actually smells really bad, like rotten. That does not look like coolant to me. I'm afraid to imagine what it was. I'm gonna discover this is so rare, I get to name it.
After cleaning most of the cooling channels, it was time to do the brakes, as I'm pretty positive they were seizing up and heavily contributed to the lack of acceleration, as the car would have to fight against itself.
Now here comes the tricky part. I don't even know if I have brake pads for this thing.
For the past 30 years, it was believed that the rare automatic YUGOs had unique one-of-a-kind brakes that are now impossible to find. However, a couple of online friends have found that a certain car of that era had suspiciously similar shaped calipers, and thanks to Patreon support, we were able to verify if they're indeed compatible. It goes without saying that the car and brakes were completely toast, or rather cookie because they were crumbling like crazy, and you don't need an engineering degree to know that this should not be happening. And yet, here we are.
Jesus Christ. I'm afraid to even question what this stuff is. That does not look very good. And I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before.
So, to my surprise, I believe these ones are actually compatible, like fully. At least visually they look just about the same, except they're golden for whatever reason. And they do not have the YUGO branding on them.
I don't know if it's all automatic YUGOs or only this prototype, but both the calipers and the brake pads ended up being compatible.
I am very pleasantly surprised to announce that these are compatible pads. At least they appear to be. And they even have the plug for the brake pads light. I did not expect that. There's barely anything left on these guys.
Unfortunately, replacing the calipers is not as simple as replacing the brake pads, as you would need a second person in order to purge all the air out of the system. The new brake fluid can didn't end up being compatible, so I decided to call it for the day.
It's time to start reassembling the engine. In its entirety.
Since I couldn't replace the brake fluid reservoir, I just cleaned out the one we had and dried it out in a filament dryer made for 3D printers. After that, I just began replacing all the sketchy parts with the nice and new ones. Additionally, I began replacing virtually every single bolt with the nicer ones, because a lot of bolts used in this vehicle were not even rated to be used in machinery.
Also, the good news is, we didn't reuse the water pump and the pipe on the other YUGO, or we did and we just didn't really use it much, because we have a gasket on this thing.
My roommate is out of town, so it slowed me down a little bit, as I was trying to film everything just by myself.
I live in Las Vegas and we do have a spare room.
It was pretty convenient to have a lot of new and performance parts on my hands, because the only stuff that really got destroyed in the past were the block and one of the pistons.
Let's check the fitment first. The bracket for the alternator fits fine, it seems. Yeah, everything checks out.
Little by little, the engine was coming together, and it wasn't long until I could bring out something I was really looking forward to.
Well, I've got some exciting news. I brought this performance head that we built for the race engine for the other YUGO, like a few years ago, before the Canon incident and everything that came before that. Why just use this part when we can use the whole thing? Let's also compare the old head gasket versus the new one, because I think that'd be kind of interesting. There you have it. The old versus the new.
Just look at that. Yeah, it's like a day and night difference.
The performance head would not make the engine automatically produce more power, but it would allow it to run like new and it would be more reliable at a higher RPM. If I replace the camshaft, it would be a different story, but I'm using the original one. So once again, the engine is just gonna run like new.
Now here comes the sketchy part. I have to turn this one 90 degrees. I do not trust these bolts.
While installing the final part of the engine, I discovered a little issue.
Oh, interesting.
Long story short, the new thermostat would not work with the prototype's YUGO's distributor, so I would have to reuse the old thermostat, which is not in a very good shape, as you can see.
I could just toss in the old head, but I just torqued everything down. Let's open this thing up and see what's up. Oh, okay. Well, this is our thermostat, apparently. Yeah, no, this is not really
all that much salvageable. The whole thing was rusted inside out, but after spending an hour scooping up all the gunk and metal, I was able to make it work. My original plan was to rebuild the engine over the weekend, and it's fair to say that I got pretty close, as so all there was left is to just attach the top part and replace the radiator as well as the fan.
Maybe I used too much assembly lube. It's very strange to me.
You might need that.
You reckon?
Installing the rest of the engine was pretty simple, except the part where I have to torque down very old and low quality bolts. Righty-tighty became righty-loosey. This one is just for oil splashing, that's it.
Are we sure that's the right gasket?
It is the right gasket, it's just like old.
The belt is just the annoying part because,
We gotta pull really hard.
yes.
Pry bar maybe?
I'm thinking, yeah, we might have to use like a pick. I apologize in advance if I poke you. I'll try my hardest not to. Well, I just don't want to poke you, because I also don't want to, like, you know, put a hole in it. Ooh, that went deep. That went really deep.
Cars are pain. You get used to it.
That's gonna sting tomorrow. The YUGO has taught me so much stuff about first aid kit. Forcibly. Good thing it's not on the right hand, because then I would not be able to use the mouse.
Despite the annoying sacrifice I had to make, the rest of the engine reassembly was pretty smooth.
Okay, here's a magical trick. I'll make this coolant bottle disappear. The magicians do not reveal their secrets.
Before testing out the fixed engine, we decided to port the brakes.
Yeah, there's residue. There's so much, dude.
And after about half an hour of working out my single leg, we were finally ready to give it a go. I didn't want to install the new radiator yet, as there was still a bunch of garbage inside the engine that we needed to flush out.
So, according to my calculations, now, once we put water in here, it will go through, it will go down. Because I think the water pump is oriented this way. The worst case scenario, it's gonna splash back at us. I'll do micro crank at first, I will not fully crank it. If it splashes, we'll know right away. So.
Judging by the fact that none of us got covered with nasty water, my water pump orientation theory turned out to be correct. However, the car itself wouldn't start.
Let's give it starter fluid. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot to turn on the pump.
Oh, so it has no fuel.
Do we have any fuel left in the bucket? Oh yeah, because I had to empty it to refuel my other car. I forgot to refuel it.
In case you're new here, the fuel tank in this car is just a Home Depot bucket, and it's powered by a fuel pump from a Hellcat, because unsafe but fun, and because it usually works.
I had to take the fuel out of the bucket to refuel my other car. I'm so stupid, I'm sorry. I forgot. There's just barely any fuel left. This is such a scum setup. I forgot how sketchy it is. I needed like a tiny amount of fuel, and I was like, okay, where can I get it? Okay, I have this bucket over here. Oh, it's leaking.
There's a crack in the bucket?
Yeah, there's a crack in the bucket.
I was about to say, all we need to do is have her start, right?
Yeah, well, we just need to get it started.
Start and idle?
Yeah. Okay, if I hold the bucket at this angle.
Unfortunately, no matter the angle of the bucket, the car still wouldn't start. Knowing that it's most likely an electrical issue, we decided to call it for the day. But on a bright side, us cranking the engine was enough to flush most of the block. Before going to bed, I spent another couple of hours trying to figure out the issue, unfortunately without any success. And the next morning, before I could even set up my other camera and the microphone, this happened.
A new day, I'm really sleepy. I just wanna see if it just can magically start for no reason.
It started just like that, without me doing absolutely anything different that day.
It just works. And just the next day, I didn't do absolutely anything different. It just works. This car is... Oh god. Oh, yeah, what even is this thing?
I cannot even clap. Now that the engine could start, I was able to begin inspecting the car for any issues. And before anyone asks, this is just old stuff burning off. Mostly because I used a lot of lubricant on all of the bolts. However, I did find a small oil leak. And after setting up my camera, it was pretty easy to narrow down.
Okay, we got some good news. It is coming from the valve cover. I guess it just needs to be tightened a bit more. Great. Where's the 10 mil? How did they just keep disappearing like this? Where did the 10 mil go? Like actually, where did it go? I didn't put it inside the airbox, did I?
Even after retightening the valve valve cover, the oil would still leak, so I had no choice but to open it up.
Oh, I see why.
I didn't trust this gasket from the beginning, and this is exactly why. I don't know why are they made this way. I don't think cork, cardboard, and oil mix well together. I do want to acknowledge that this is completely new oil that we just put in yesterday. Like, completely new. I don't know what happened, but I guess I'll replace the filter and I'll replace this as well. And the worst part about this cardboard stuff, or cork rather, is that all the tiny pieces are now stuck in there. So now it's gonna be triple amount of the work I need to do to get it out.
I didn't trust the cork, so I decided to make my own gasket out of rubber.
Oh my god, no way. Did I do it on the first try? I did. Wonderful. Alright, let's change the oil filter.
Yes, I did use Fram filter for this thing. I don't care. Okay, now I remember why I don't use Fram filters. Oh my god, this housing for the filter is like falling apart in my hands.
I'm gonna quickly pre-oil it.
Yes, this car is running on mustard.
Since I have to wait an hour for the gasket before I can use the car again, let's install the radiator finally. Here's the old fan and the radiator. As you can see, they're massive and pretty inefficient. And here's the new radiator and the fan. So this radiator and the fan are designed for like late 60s or early 70s Mustangs. And according to my calculations, they're roughly the same size and have their ports in the same exact locations, hypothetically making the install very easy. It's made out of the finest Chinesium, but I am sure it's gonna work way better than what we had in this car before. Let's see the fitment.
Unfortunately, I didn't account for the fact that I have an oversized starter, so the radiator hose would be resting against the electrical, which would be a little bit risky even if the radiator was manufactured by a trustworthy brand. In this case, it's made by the company that couldn't even spell engine right, so absolutely not.
So this is a radiator for my police car. So, oh, please don't tell me it actually fits.
I thought it looked kind of funny, so I decided to mount it, just to see if it would work in the first place, and to flush the rest of the engine block.
Not sure if this can look any more sketchy, but believe it or not, everything has a function. Also, I just realized the coolant overflow tank has always been right next to the battery in this car. Like, they put them right next to whatever.
Installing a radiator from a police car inside a YUGO is most certainly a choice, but you know how it goes. Unsafe but fun.
It works. And it doesn't leak.
I had to wrap up the work early as I had a procedure the next morning, and by the time I recovered, a lot of new parts have arrived.
Ow! It still hurts. Safety napkin.
The new radiator I chose for the YUGO is actually from old Mini Coopers, because it was cheap and it was small. I upgraded the coolant overflow tank and installed a custom fan that could be toggled manually. And this scuff combination actually worked amazing. In my opinion, the engine was still lacking power, and the fuel bucket's leak was getting worse, but at least it no longer overheats while idling, and it seems to be finally ready for the test drive.
I just gotta install the wheels, and I think we're golden. The camber is looking a little bit odd. Seems to be staying in place. Now we can rotate the vehicle and go, I suppose.
Since the vehicle hasn't been inspected yet, I had to get a temporary insurance. And that's when the YUGO curse has somehow reached my printer that just refused to work that day.
I'm not even kidding. When I'm trying to print the insurance card, it gives not one, but 2 errors. Now the button is gone completely. Like, the button is gone. And I cannot select anything over here.
The pattern of things breaking down around the YUGOs is pretty much comical at this point. Fortunately, I found some old paperwork that was necessary for the test drive, so it was finally time to roll.
Just need to do one small little detail. Perfect. Oh, right, the seat belts. They're so stupid in this car. So this one goes over, this one goes over the lap, and neither of them are gonna do anything. Okay. This thing is so loud. Oh my god, it actually moves. Okay, the brakes work, kinda. The gas pedal barely does anything. Great. This is as fast as it goes, so that's a bit of an issue. Oh my god, it's barely moving. And I'm in the middle of the intersection.
The test drive was pretty short, as the car was even slower than before. In fact, it would barely move, even when I tried to launch it.
Almost. Okay, so the brakes are broken still. Got it. We're moving so slow, maybe 3 miles an hour at most. At least it's not overheating.
The engine itself was running somewhat fine, but the lack of acceleration meant that there is something wrong with the brakes. My new objective was to bring the car back so I could investigate the issue.
Just don't break down on me here, please. Oh my god, I actually managed to make a U-turn. Oh, now it's accelerating. Oh. I'm hearing a lot of misfires.
I wonder if I can make it into the garage in one piece. Oh my god, I actually did it. Well, that was an experience. Alright, time to figure out why was it not running well. One of the things I want to try is different spark plugs. Maybe set up a fuel pressure regulator and check the brakes. Because I have a feeling there was something off about the brakes. Let's get the fuel pressure regulator first. I think one of the most important things about this is the fact that we didn't have any leaks.
I installed the fuel pressure regulator and decided to check the rear brakes, where I found a bunch of empty Black Widow eggs that probably belong to Betty. If you don't know who Black Betty is, you should check out the previous video from the series. Since I couldn't reliably purge the brakes by myself, I just used some brake cleaner and some lubricant, so the car doesn't have to fight against the brakes as much as I did, and it actually made a very huge difference.
Well, it's certainly doing something. Is it accelerating? Not really. It's driving forward, so that's something. How is this car still functioning is beyond me. So many misfires. Hey, it's doing something. Oh, never mind. All the misfires! It's actually moving for the first time.
The more I would drive the YUGO, the more rust would fall off the brakes, making the brake seizure not as impactful and allowing the car to accelerate.
Maybe I should just drive it a bit more and it will get better. It sounds so funny. It is such a stupid car.
The acceleration was getting better and better until I had to make a full stop, after which the car lost pretty much all of its power.
I do think the brakes are seizing up. That's what the issue is. The misfires. The temperature is fine so far, which is the most surprising part about this. Oh, and it died. Okay, well, it functions again. Let me enable the blinkers when there's... Oh, and it died. Okay, got it. Oh, it no longer starts. Did the starter disconnect? Let's find out. Oh, right, because I was in neutral, that's probably. Oh yeah. Does it run better in the second gear? I can't even tell. Okay, something is happening.
The brake problem was getting worse and worse, so I had no choice but to return. Also, the transmission in this YUGO is extremely primitive. For context, this is what I had to say about the manual transmission YUGO a few years ago.
You put in the first, it's like, whoop. It's not, I am in the first gear, or I think I'm in the first gear. I hope I'm in the first gear.
When you're driving the automatic YUGO, you have even less control, because while the car is in motion, you cannot simply put it in neutral or use the clutch. Instead, this happens.
Oh.
Because even though it has a transmission controller unit, pretty much all of the shifting is decided by a single vacuum solenoid.
The shifter doesn't do all that much. The shifter just kind of tells the car to decide now. Like, you don't control the car with the shifter. You put it in a certain gear, or park or reverse or whatever, and then you hope that the car is gonna go in that gear.
The rest of the test drive was pretty uneventful, except the part where the brake seized in the middle of intersection, causing me to stall multiple times in front of 7 cars.
I'm trying! The brake seized. Oh my god, this is the worst. I'm so sorry. The brakes pedal feels really bad right now. There's one thing that comes to mind that I can probably adjust to see if I can fix it.
I slightly adjusted the throttle to increase the engine's RPM at idle in hopes that it would allow me to overcome the brake seizure, and it actually worked perfect.
Do we have enough fuel? Yeah, we do. At least it's not in the middle of intersection anymore. Gosh darn it.
I said it worked perfect, but I actually had to adjust it twice. And from that point, the car could move again. Well, sort of.
Pump it, pump it, pump it, pump it. It's functioning. Just gotta keep pumping the gas pedal. Oh my god. Something is telling me the timing is a bit off. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, you got this, you got this, you got this. Just a little bit, just a little bit, just a little bit. There's a lot to process.
to say the least. It's been most certainly an experience. Thanks to this bizarre and entertaining test drive, I was able to narrow down the remaining problems. I purchased the necessary parts, and while they're on the way, I did some small stuff like fixing the timing and upgrading our fuel tank. I put names of people who ever bought anything from Patreon store, even if it had nothing to do with being inside the YUGO. I just thought that would be kinda cool. And in case you were wondering why the Canon has two different colors for the names, the red color are the names that didn't make it. I do these little details and Easter eggs on a lot of stuff, even if I don't get to show it often. I just think it's funny. Anyways, all we need to do is to have one successful test drive, for which I have to replace a couple more things. And on the day the remaining parts have arrived, this happened.
Okay, so I don't know if that got on camera. I was gonna grab my phone in order to check what do I need to do today, because I made a to-do list. It just ripped the whole thing off. It was completely fine for as long as I can remember. This is like the strongest adhesive known to man. Well, the sacrifice has been made. It better work today.
Unfortunately, on that day, the YUGO desired more. And I'm not talking about just physical sacrifices. The YUGO wanted so much more, and put up quite a fight to achieve it.
How did they even insert it in the first place?
It all started with oxygen sensor, not just because it welded itself in, but also because not a single socket would fit.
Look at this. So I managed to route it through, so it kind of goes through like this, right? And it cannot go deep enough. Look at that. It just barely not reaching it. You know why? Because this is how they cut the whole thing. It just cannot go any deeper. And before somebody says, oh, why don't you just use one of the oxygen sensor remover things? Okay, here's a wonderful box that's called auto sensor that has exactly the same thing. That has exactly the same problem. It does not reach, just because of the way they did it on this particular YUGO. I never had this issue in any of the cars that I worked on. How did they manage to insert it in the first place and then tighten it up? Like, what did they use for that?
I don't know how else to put it, but this oxygen sensor is structurally the most durable part in this entire YUGO. And if you follow me on Instagram, I hope you were entertained by this summary I made that day. It took me over an hour, but at least I managed to remove it. And the car didn't fall apart when I did so.
The old sensor versus the new one. Yeah, I don't think the sensor did absolutely anything.
Here's a fun fact. The oxygen sensor in the YUGO is actually from a Jaguar. No, not this one. This one. Well, at least this YUGO does not have a purge valve solenoid from Kia Soul. Oh my god, it does. What's next? Idle speed control valve from a DeLorean? Ah, of course. How does this keep happening? Anyways, I replaced the necessary parts and finally purged the remaining brakes thanks to my friend who was available that day.
There we go. Open.
Oh yeah, I can feel it, yeah. Yeah, oh, that's nasty stuff.
For the longest time, it was believed that the fuel injectors found in a YUGO are 100% unique, so they tend to sell for hundreds of dollars. But I never really believed it to be the case, especially after busting the myth regarding the brake calipers.
Same part number.
Oh, do they actually have the same part number?
Yeah, see on the side.
Oh, that's actually crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this was just my guess. Like, yeah. Turns out the YUGO injectors are not unique. They're actually from BMW. And I'm not talking about their cars. They're from a motorbike. Time to upgrade our fuel system from whatever this was.
The crack is so unfortunate. It just started cracking on both sides too.
Much more compact. Weight savings, presumably. It's just made of metal. It's the pump just wobbling in there. I just realized there's Jerry can right behind Jerry. Maybe he needs to hold it, you know? Jerry has to hold his can. To avoid fuel leaks, I added some silicone around the ports. And while I was doing it, the silicone tube popped on the other side. Oh, great. Put a hole on the other side. Just have to mind it. I mean, it's gonna seal itself. The problem is gonna solve itself. Just more of it is like coming out on this side instead of like the actual where it needs to. Okay, fine. It works. It actually works better, yeah. When I bought this bucket, I want to be clear. When I bought this bucket from Amazon, I thought it would be bigger. I honestly, like, I think they used the stock person or like the model. They picked like the tiniest person imaginable. All right, the new fuel system is done. There's a smiley face on the inside of the bucket. That's how you know it's good. Thanks to all the new parts and sacrifices we had to make, the YUGO started on the first try and ran better than ever. And it didn't die.
Okay.
I think I got everything I need.
Oh my god.
What's up?
I did the natural reach to my seatbelt.
Yeah.
Where is it?
On the other side, like there's like a lap one.
How do you do this? You do...
That one goes to the top.
Which one goes first?
Depends on the mood.
All right, hold on to the Jerry. All right, make sure he doesn't fall apart.
You get used to it. We will not be going fast enough where it like matters, but just try to keep it in.
I think the button's stuck down.
Maybe like try flipping it 180 and like.
Oh yeah.
Just a heads up, one thing I didn't really consider is that the bucket does not have a lid.
That's true, yeah. Don't go too fast.
Well, it's not like we're going to.
Or just don't stop too fast.
Yeah, as if it can stop in the first place. How tall are you?
6'2".
Yeah, you have to like cross your legs just to have any space.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm used to it.
I also instinctively start reaching for it.
This feels like the first thing that's gonna break.
The first thing that is gonna break is our spirit.
No, not me.
Oh, that's what you think. I've met so many people who are so naively enthusiastic about the YUGO. James, I'm so excited to work on the YUGO with you. James, this is so cool. You know, it's like Rick and Morty, 15-minute adventure, in and out. You know, like afterwards. Okay, I'll try not to hit your car.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, fortunately, we have pretty good, like, visual. Yes. They thought of everything. I get a pretty decent visibility, but I just don't know if anything's on the floor.
You're good.
Okay. Something cracked when I did this.
Alright.
I like how the light is the check engine light.
It's so bright.
Yeah, like it is very bright and it's actually helping me figure out where everything is. It's actually like probably, oh, and the light is off. So now I see a bit less. These are the headlights, by the way. Let me see if I have the high beams.
Okay.
That's the high beams. Let's roll.
Oh no.
Wow, this is the fastest it's ever been.
Really?
Yes.
Go!
It shifted! It shifted! It did it! It actually did it! Whoa! It's actually working! It's actually working now! Oh my god, it smells so awful. The air is spicy. Like the air is like actually spicy. It's so like crammed in here. I need like the window down so I can take out my arm out. It's like
same.
it's like the only way I could like actually fit it.
This is a lot further than I thought we were gonna get.
Oh, absolutely.
He erased the guy behind us. I think he wants to.
All right. I'm pressing the gas pedal all the way.
Yep. Okay.
It turned yellow and red by the time we were done.
Yeah, we're doing our best.
I think it's accelerating.
Yeah.
There's no speedometer or anything like that.
I was about to ask how fast are we going, and I looked. I was like, oh, you don't know.
Yeah, like you guess. This guy behind us has no lights, like at night.
Oh no.
He's getting dangerously close. They're like living on the edge. No lights at night, right next to this thing. Let's see if we could turn safely over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just keep the speed.
I cannot keep the speed because Yugos are notorious for only making contact with free wheels when they turn, like really fast. So I'm really like, I don't want the whole thing to flip. I don't think I turned on the fan. I don't remember if I did. And the air is getting spicy, it's getting in my eyes.
Yeah, me too.
It's actually like really spicy for my eyes.
Yeah.
Like all watery. Oh god, my eyes.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's starting to get real.
Okay, I'm gonna use this parking brake just in case. I'm gonna seatbelt. That's a wrong seatbelt. There we go.
You got it?
Yeah. Let me clear up my eyes because I think it's important to have visibility when you drive.
That's fair.
Okay, I think I can see. As I'm struggling to find the seatbelt.
I think I can see.
Okay, check out how tight the turn is on this thing.
Okay. Oh, like actually?
Yeah, it's a tiny short like wheelbase. I could do U-turn virtually anywhere.
The hand signals for turning. You know?
My door opened, and I'm feeling the seatbelt pull. I'm like, what is pulling? And the door is just decided to open it on its own. Okay.
The spicy air is coming back a little bit.
Oh yeah, it's definitely coming back. When you rev it up, like the air is getting really spicy. Wow, this is legitimately the best it performed. It actually is like on par with our like first YUGO.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, like I feel like 60 miles an hour is actually achievable on this thing.
Yeah.
Will it be safe? Absolutely not. Will it be scary? Absolutely, but unsafe but fun. Everything's running, so I think it's running low on fuel. The good thing we could just remove the blanket and check. Okay, I want to. Okay, this is real. Okay, it shut off. Oh, let me check the bucket. How's it looking?
We're probably fine.
It's still got a bit. I mean, that's basically just the audio system. Like it notifies us when the fuel's running low.
Yeah,
it begins to like.
It's a warning.
Like try to use the straw to like get the very bottom, like the last boba. You know, it's like struggling. So like that's how you know you're running low on fuel.
Come on, let's go.
You got it. You got it.
Bring it home.
Just in love.
Oh.
Perfect finish. I'm just gonna. Got it. I like how the check engine light disappeared when I was pushing it. It disappeared momentarily while I was pushing it, and then it came back the moment I stopped pushing it.
We didn't die.
Yeah,
We're alive.
I think so. This is the fastest it's ever been. Like, so it got to the moving state around June, July, so 7 months. It's never been this fast, powerful, reliable. Hold on, let me see how much fuel we had left. Like, because I kind of glanced at it.
It was slurping at the end.
Yeah, it begins to slurp, and that's how you know. And that's how you know.
You've got about 3 minutes left. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's dripping a little bit. The silicone was not fuel resistant. It's like it turned into like yellow goo.
Oh no, really?
But it just like drops. So it's fine. It's like because you can then collect it in the pan and then just put it in the bucket.
Yeah, just squeeze it back in.
Yes. This is so funny. It just like it will never be not funny. This car is just funny. It's a funny car. So now it's finally time to bring this funny car to DMV. It should be able to make it on this one bucket alone. If it can make it that far, it will have its official inspection, which will allow me to continue this project. Once again, all of this is done out of my pocket, so thank you once again for your support. And if you enjoyed the series, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I will have to be wearing my sunglasses. The fumes coming from the front are pretty strong. Oh my god. It is such an annoying way to do and undo the seatbelts. It's so unintuitive. Oh. Alright, let's make it there alive. Okay, the wheel is not straight. It's like actually even worse now because it's now angled. It looks straight when I reinstalled it, alright? Okay, so we're gonna do this. Great start. Okay, you got it. And it died. Oh god, the fumes are bad. I will have to roll this up, but the fumes are still very strong. Okay, we gotta check engine light already. It's very hard to judge how fast am I going. I'm definitely slower than everybody else, but everything in this car feels so fast. Oh my god, this person is crazy. I have to slow down gradually, or it will stall. Did it stall? It stalled. Okay, let's slowly roll over here, engage the brake, park. Okay. Ah, there we go, like a champ. Got it. I have to stay on the right lane pretty much at all times. Set the expectations straight. Oh boy, no, not the incline. I just realized we're approaching the incline. It might be yellow and red by the time we get there. My worst enemy, the inclines. Come on, you can make it. Come on, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. Oh my god, we actually made it. Past the incline. And now we're going down. And it's gonna be equally scary. Hey, we didn't stall. I think it stalls when it gets stuck in the second gear instead of downshifting to the first gear and trying to, you know, stabilize it. I do think it's an issue of the vacuum, if I had to guess, but it also could be just a really bad transmission. Okay, okay, okay. Don't stall, don't stall, don't stall. Oh, it stalled. Well. Okay, we're good. I think I just heard the fuel pump slurp a little bit, meaning that we're running low on fuel. And the problem is I'm on the left lane right now, the fast lane. And the person behind me is clearly unhappy about it. Because they're getting closer and closer. Okay, it's definitely slurping now. It's definitely slurping. If we run out of fuel, it better be at a convenient spot. It's definitely slurping. I can hear it slurp more and more. I am almost at the DMV, so I'm gonna attempt to make it to the DMV. But if I have to refuel the bucket right in front of the DMV at the inspection, it is gonna be awful. We're almost there. man, don't stall me now, don't stall me. Oh, I think we're out of fuel. It's a TV! No. You cannot make this up. Okay, let's give it a try. I think we're out of fuel. Let me check. How's the bucket looking? Oh, it's empty. Okay. You cannot make this up. I ran out of fuel at the DMV. Like, there's only 2 turns left for the inspection. Hope I'm not gonna be reported for suspicious activity doing this in the final turns leading up to the DMV. Okay. You can't make this up. This happened right at the inspection. Just ran out of fuel, just like on the final stretch. There we go. Why does it rattle so much more now? Well, here we are at the inspection. We just gotta wait for our turn. It says turn off your engine. Okay, if you say so. Oh, okay. Oh, don't die on me now. Good morning. YUGO, one of a kind. Thank you very much. Oh, my bad. Thank you very much. You have a wonderful day. No way! No way! Oh my god, it's stalled. It stalled right outside of the inspection. Passing the initial inspections was just the beginning, and there's still a lot of stuff that I need to do for it. But now I finally have a green light to continue the project. I need to catch up on a lot of real-life obligations and other videos, but I can't wait for you to see what happens next. And I can't stress this enough, it would not be possible without all of these people. Thank you so much, all of you and everybody else who supported the channel in any way, who shared the videos, who shared the YUGO with their family, friends, everybody. Thank you so much, and I'm extremely excited for the next step. That is right over here. Sometime this year, I also plan to do a YUGO-themed livestream where I will get to feature a lot of deleted scenes and extras. If you already subscribed to the channel, just double check if your notifications are enabled, because the setting might have randomly changed without you even knowing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you soon.